Hello everyone, it's Glenda and welcome back to my channel, Creative Grandma. This video is going to be a review and a crochet tutorial. So I showed a video and I showed box number 5 of hooks and needles for the knitting box and the crochet box. Well, in the meantime, I decided to make the projects and I just wanted to show you what they look like, tell you a little bit about my experience making them, and then I want to show you a pattern that I made out of the leftover yarn. Now, the first pattern in the magazine for box number 5 was the bubbly bathroom set. It had that bath scrubby, that bath poof. Now, it is a little small, but there's enough yarn in the box that if you wanted to put another round on the bath poof and make it bigger, you could. Now, please ignore my ends. I hate to weave in ends. I'm just going to shove it down in here so you can't see it. So this is my little bath poof. This is what it looks like. Now, it says it's an intermediate skill level. I think any beginner can make this pattern. It's very simple. It's just a matter of working double crochets and then how many double crochets you put in each stitch. So if you know how to make a double crochet, this is going to be a really easy pattern. And these are so fun if you want to make them for kids, if you want to make them for yourself. Just have an assortment of them in your bathroom. And once you make this, you can always buy other cotton yarn and make more in other colors. The next pattern in the crochet book was the bubbly bathroom soap saver. So this is what it looks like. Now this one's made in white. And my box, I got that. It's like a purplish blue color. And I have my ends still hanging here, so sorry about that. It's just a little bag that you put your soap in. I had no problem with the pattern. Now, the first pattern was that wallet. I did not like the wallet, so I didn't make that. And then they did have a hat pattern. Now, I did not have enough yarn to make the hat, so I thought because they had a bath poof and they had the soap bag, what I would do is I would make a washcloth. So this is my washcloth pattern. Yeah, my ends are hanging yet. But this is made out of the yarn in the hooks and needle box. So if you take the same pattern, you can use like Lion brand DK cotton. I would definitely use a DK weight if you're going to use it for a face cloth. And this was made out of Lion brand DK cotton. So you can see the design a little bit better here. So just a little tiny fancy border. Now with the Lion brand DK cotton, I did raise my hook size 1 hook because I was thinking the yarn was thicker. It's really not. So you can either use a 3 or a size 4 millimeter crochet hook. So if you have a hook and needle box and you wanted a different pattern to work up in your box and use up that yarn, you can make the bath poof, the soap bag, and you can now make yourself a facial cloth, or you could even use this as a dishcloth. So grab your yarn. If you're using a different cotton yarn, then grab a DK cotton yarn. And I am going to be using a size D3 or 3.25 millimeter crochet hook. Now, Hooks and Needle did give me a hook in my box, but I have crocheted with a hook that's straight without a handle for so long that when I tried to use this, it just didn't feel right in my hand. It felt too thick because I'm always crocheting like I have a pencil in my hand. So I'm going to change my hook. But again, if you want to make this pattern, either use the hook that come in your box number 5 with your leftover yarn, or you can switch to the size D3 3.25 millimeter hook of your choice. Now, you can either use the cotton yarn out of your box or get a substitute DK weight cotton yarn. So grab your yarn, grab your hook, and let's get this pattern started. To begin our project, I already have my yarn attached to my hook, and I am using the yarn that was inside my Hooks and Needles crochet box number 5. We're going to begin and we're going to chain 32. So if you want to change the size of our project, then you would use the stitch multiple of 3 plus 2. So today we're going to chain 32, which is the stitch multiple of 3 times 10 for 30, and then we're going to add 2 more chains for a total of 32 chains. Now I want to remind everyone, all my crochet tutorials are filmed using USA crochet terms. So again, I already have my yarn attached to my hook and I just used a double knot. You can use whichever method you prefer to join your yarn to your hook. We're going to begin and chain 32. Yarn over, pull through the loop on your hook, and this creates your first chain. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Continue until you have 32 chains, and I'll be back and we'll start row 1. I'm back. I have 32 chains, so make sure you just do a double stitch count. Make sure you have 32 chains. And now we're ready to begin row 1. For row 1, we are going into the second chain from hook, so skip the first chain, insert into the second chain. You're going to yarn over, pull back through that chain. You have 2 loops, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops. You just made a single crochet. You're going to chain 2, 1, 2, then insert back into the same chain and work a single crochet. Now we're ready to begin our repeat. We're going to skip the next 2 chains, into the next chain, work a single crochet. You're going to chain 2. Then insert back into that same chain and work a single crochet. You're making a single crochet V-stitch. So you should have a single crochet, chain 2, and single crochet all into that same chain. Let's do the repeat again. You're going to skip the next 2 chains, into the next chain, work a single crochet, chain 2, and then single crochet back into that same chain. Let's do it again. Skip the next 2 chains, into the next chain, work a single crochet, chain 2, and then single crochet back into that same chain. I'll show you one more time. Skip the next 2 chains, into the next chain, work a single crochet, chain 2, and then single crochet back into that same chain. So go ahead and continue. You're going to skip the next 2 chain, into the next chain, work a single crochet, chain 2, single crochet. Repeat that down the length. I'll meet you at the end of row 1. I'm over at the end of row 1. I have 1 repeat to go, but I always like to show you how to start and end the row. We're going to skip the next 2 chains, and you're going to end the row by working in the last chain. Insert your hook into the last chain, work a single crochet, chain 2, and then single crochet back into that same chain. Row 1 is finished. When you look at your work, you're going to have a total of 11 single crochet V-stitches. Now row 1 is the base row. Row 2 is going to be your repeat row. This is a 1 row repeat. So to begin row 2, you're just going to turn your work. Now with this pattern, you do not chain. You do not chain when you turn your work. You're going to insert right in the center of the first V-stitch. Go right in to that chain 2 space, work a single crochet. You're going to chain 2, and then single crochet back into the center of that same V-stitch in the chain 2 space. So again, when you turn your work, you do not chain. You just go immediately into that chain 2 space, work your single crochet, chain 2, and single crochet. So now we're going to go to our next V-stitch, insert into the chain 2 space, work a single crochet, chain 2, and then single crochet back into the center of that same V-stitch. And all we're doing is stacking our V-stitches one on top of the other. Go to your next V-stitch, insert into the chain 2 space, work a single crochet, chain 2, and then single crochet back into that same space. Let's do it one more time together. Go to your next V-stitch, insert into the chain 2 space, work a single crochet, chain 2, and then single crochet back into that same chain 2 space. So go ahead and continue, work a single crochet, chain 2, single crochet in the center chain 2 space of each V-stitch across to the end of the row, and I'll meet you there. I'm over at the end of row 2. I worked a single crochet, chain 2, single crochet in the center chain 2 space of each V-stitch across, and you should have a total of 11 V-stitches. So your stitch count will remain the same throughout this pattern. So to continue working on our face cloth or dishcloth, whatever you want to use it for, you're going to continue and repeat row 2 until you have a total of 21 rows. So you have to repeat row 2 19 more times. So again, to continue working on your pattern, you're going to repeat row 2 until you have a total of 21 rows. Now, if you change the size of the dishcloth or washcloth and you want to make it larger, then you need to end on an odd number row. So go ahead and continue and repeat row 2 until you have a total of 21 rows, and I'll meet you at the end of row 21. I'm over at the end of row 21. Just do a double count of your rows. Make sure you have an odd number of rows or a total of 21 rows. So now to work the border at the end of row 21, you're just going to turn your work. We're going to skip that first single crochet. We're going to slip stitch into the chain 2 space of that first V-stitch and slip stitch through that space and through the loop on your hook. You're going to chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. Your beginning chain 3 counts as the first double crochet. Double crochet back into that same chain 2 space. Now we're going to begin our repeat. You're going to chain 1. Now we're going to work 2 double crochet into the chain 2 space of the next V-stitch. Yarn over, insert into the chain 2 space, work 2 double crochets. 1. Yarn over, insert back into that space, yarn over, pull back through. You have 3 loops. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops. You just made a double crochet. So let's do the repeat again. You're going to chain 1, go to your next V-stitch, work 2 double crochet into the chain 2 space of that next V-stitch. 1 and 2. Let's do the repeat again. Chain 1, go to your next V-stitch, work 2 double crochet into the chain 2 space. 1 and 2. Let's do it one more time together. Chain 1, go to your next V-stitch, and we're going to work 2 double crochet into the chain 2 space of this next V-stitch. 1 and 2, and you can see how your pattern is forming. So go ahead and continue. You're going to chain 1, go to your next V-stitch, and work 2 double crochet into the chain 2 space of the next V-stitch. Repeat that across until you finish with 2 double crochet in the last V-stitch, and I'll meet you at the next corner. I'm over at my first corner. We started our border, we worked across, and you end with 2 double crochet in the chain 2 space of the last V-stitch across. So now to make your corner, you're going to chain 2, 1, and 2. You're going to swing your work around, and now we're going to be working in the row end stitches down the length. So if you're not sure, then look for the ending V stitch. And what I do when I work down the length is I go right into the chain 2 space. So I wrap my stitch right around the single crochet. So just look for the V stitch. This is a row end stitch. This is a row end stitch. This is a row end stitch. And that's how you can tell. So now to begin working down the length, we're going to work 2 double crochet into the first row end stitch. So you can see here is our first row end stitch right here, right where we placed our last 2 double crochet. We're going to work 2 more double crochet right into that same chain 2 space. But we're wrapping it around the edge of that stitch going down the side. So that's 1, and 2. Now we're going to begin our repeat. We're going to chain 1. You're going to skip this next row end stitch, and into the next row end stitch, work 2 double crochet. 1, and 2. Chain 1, skip that next row end stitch, work 2 double crochet into the next row end stitch. So again, I'm going right underneath that end stitch into the chain 2 space and working my double crochets right around the post of that single crochet. And that's 2. Let's do it again. Chain 1. You're going to skip that next row end stitch. You can see the V stitch here. Go to the next V stitch, and you're just going to insert into the chain 2 space and work 2 double crochet right around the post of that ending single crochet. 1, and 2. And again, you can see how your pattern is forming. So go ahead and continue. You're going to chain 1, skip the next row end stitch, and work 2 double crochet into the next row end stitch. Repeat that down to the next corner, and I'll meet you there. So I'm over at the last 2 row end stitches, and I'm going to do one more repeat. We're going to chain 1, skip that next row end stitch, and you're going into the chain 2 space of the last row end stitch. So here's the single crochet, here's the chain 2 space. You want to go right in here. Work 2 double crochet. 1, and 2. You're going to chain 2 to form your corner, and then you want to swing your work around. And now we're going to be working on the foundation chain going across the bottom of our work. We're going to begin, and we're going to work 2 double crochet at the base of this first V stitch. So if you look at your work, you're going to see those 2 single crochet, one right here coming down and another one coming into that chain. So we're going right at the base of the V stitch. Work 2 double crochet into the base of that first V stitch. 1, and 2. You're going to chain 1. You're going to skip the next 2 chains. You're going to see these 2 chains right here, 1 and 2, and you want to go over to the base of the V stitch. You're going to see those 2 single crochets coming together in that chain. Work 2 double crochet into the base of that next single crochet V stitch. 1, and 2. Let's do it again. Chain 1. You're going to skip the next 2 chains and into the base of that V stitch where those 2 double crochet come together. We're going to work 2 double crochets. 1, and 2. Let's do it one more time. Chain 1, skip those next 2 chains, and into the next chain where the 2 single crochet come together, right into that chain, work 2 double crochet. 1 and 2. So go ahead and continue. You're going to chain 1. You're going to skip the next 2 chains and into the base of the next single crochet V-stitch, work 2 double crochet. Repeat that across to the next corner and I'll meet you there. I'm over at my next corner. I just ended my repeat in the base of the last V-stitch across the bottom. And now we're going to swing our work around and we're going to be working down the row end stitches exactly like we did on the opposite side. So to form the corner, you're going to chain 2. And then we're going to go into the first row end stitch. So if you're not sure, just look for those V stitches. Here is your first V stitch, and we're going to go right back into the same space as we just worked these last 2 double crochet. This is the first row end stitch. Work 2 double crochet into that row end stitch. 1 and 2. Now we're going to begin the repeat. You're going to chain 1. You're going to skip that next row end stitch, so just follow those V stitches down, and if you open it up, you're going to see those holes. This is your row end stitch, and we're working underneath and around the stitch. So we already chained 1, skip the next row end stitch, insert into the next row end stitch, and work 2 double crochets. 1 and 2. Let's do it again. Chain 1, skip the next row end stitch, and work 2 double crochet into the next row end stitch. 1 and 2. Let's do it one more time together. Chain 1, skip the next row end stitch, and into the next row end stitch, work 2 double crochet. 1 and 2. And that is the end of the repeat, and you can see how your pattern is forming. So go ahead and continue. Chain 1, skip the next row end stitch, into the next row end stitch, work 2 double crochet. Repeat that down the length until you get to the next corner, and I'll meet you there. I'm over at my last corner. I just finished my repeat right in the same spot that we started our beginning chain with. So you're going right in the side of that last row end stitch. So to end round 1 of the border, we're going to chain 2 to form the corner. And then we're going to come up and join in the top of this beginning chain 3. Count up 1, 2, 3, insert into the top chain, yarn over, pull through that chain, and pull through the loop on your hook. Round 1 is finished. This is what your work should look like. So now we're ready to begin round 2. Now today we are having really high winds, so there's going to be some scratching noises where the trees are hitting the side of the house. So please ignore all the wind background noise if you hear it. So to begin round 2, we're going to skip this first stitch and we're going to slip stitch into the second stitch going under the top 2 loops, yarn over, pull through that stitch, and pull through the loop on your hook. We're going to slip stitch into the next chain 1 space. And for this round, we're only working in the chain 1 spaces and the corner chain 2 spaces. We are skipping the double crochets. We're going to chain 1, and this beginning chain 1 does not count as a stitch. We're going to single crochet back into that same chain 1 space. Then chain 2 and single crochet back into that same chain 1 space. Now we're going to begin our repeat. You're going to skip the next 2 stitches into the chain 1 space, work a single crochet, chain 2, and then single crochet back into that same chain 1 space. Let's do it again. Skip the next 2 stitches, insert into the next chain 1 space, work a single crochet, chain 2, and then single crochet back into that same chain 1 space. So go ahead and continue, work a single crochet, chain 2, single crochet in each chain 1 space across until you get to the corner chain 2 space, and I'll meet you there. I'm over at my corner chain 2 space. We just worked a single crochet, chain 2, single crochet in each chain 1 space across to the corner chain 2. To make the corner, we're going to do a single crochet, chain 2, single crochet V-stitch, chain 2 for the corner, and then work another single crochet V-stitch all into the corner chain 2 space. So let's begin working our corner. Insert into the corner chain 2, work a single crochet. You're going to chain 2. Single crochet back into that same corner chain 2 space. Your V-stitch is made, and then you're going to chain 2 for the corner. Just move those stitches over, and then we're going to work a single crochet back into the corner chain 2 space. You're going to chain 2, and then single crochet back into the corner chain 2 space. So again, when you make your corner, you're making a single crochet V-stitch with a single crochet, chain 2, single crochet. Then chain 2 for the corner, and then work your single crochet, chain 2, single crochet V-stitch back into that same corner chain 2 space. And we're going to repeat that around the remaining 3 sides. So let me work one more side with you. You're going to start down the next side. You're going to skip the next 2 stitches, insert into the chain 1 space, work a single crochet, chain 2, and then single crochet back into the chain 1 space. Skip the next 2 stitches, insert into the next chain 1 space, work a single crochet, chain 2, and then single crochet back into that same space. Continue and work 1 single crochet, a chain 2, and 1 single crochet in each chain 1 space across to the corner, and I'll meet you at the next corner. I'm over at my next corner. We just worked a single crochet, chain 2, single crochet V-stitch in each chain 1 space across to the corner. So now to work your corner, again, we're going to work a single crochet V-stitch, single crochet, chain 2, and then single crochet into that same corner chain 2 space. You're going to chain 2 to form your corner, and then just move those stitches over and work a single crochet back into the corner chain 2 space, chain 2, and then single crochet back into that corner chain 2 space. So again, when you look at your work, you'll have a single crochet V-stitch, chain 2 for the corner, and a single crochet V-stitch. So now to continue, you're going to work a single crochet, chain 2, single crochet in each chain 1 space across to your corner. When you get to the corner, work a single crochet V-stitch, chain 2, and a single crochet V-stitch in each corner chain 2 space around. So go ahead and work around the remaining 2 sides, and I'll meet you at the end of round 2. I'm over at the end of round 2. I just ended with my corner. So now we're going to join by coming over to that first single crochet of the first V-stitch, insert under the top 2 loops, yarn over, pull through that stitch, and pull through the loop on your hook. So I am finished with my yarn, so I'm just going to fasten off. When I fasten off, I chain 2, I pull my hook up, yarn out, grab, pinch, and pull down. So now you want to take a yarn needle and just flip your dishcloth over, and you can just weave in your ends, bringing that down through some of the stitches, skip a strand, go back through some, and if your yarn is long enough, that's why I always cut a longer length, I even go through a third time. So let's go ahead and measure our little face cloth or dishcloth, whatever you want to use it for. It measures about 7.5 inches across, and then from top to bottom, it measures about 7 3/4 inches. So just a nice little face cloth or dishcloth, perfect size. So I hope you enjoyed this crochet tutorial. This was a more inside review of Hooks and Needles box number 5. I really did enjoy making these items. I thought this was so cute to have in the bathroom, and just to make them in different colors would be really pretty. Now this was made with the yarn in the box of box number 5 of Hooks and Needles, but you can take this pattern and you can make it with any DK weight yarn. Now this is Lion brand DK weight 24/7 cotton, and I bumped my hook size up 1 hook size because I wanted it a little bit bigger and I wanted it to have a more lacy look. This one's a little bit tighter with that smaller hook. Now this pattern I made with the hook size in the box that went with this yarn. But I did want to show you that you can make it with a bigger hook size using the Lion brand 24/7 DK weight cotton. Just beautiful no matter what yarn you use. So I just thought I would kind of design my own little pattern for this box. I just thought it was nice to have a third bathroom set with the bath poof, the washcloth, and the soap bag. I just thought it would just pull this set together because I had the extra yarn. So not only did I get 1 face cloth or dishcloth made along with these 2 projects, I also had a second one that I made because I was designing it and I had enough yarn left over that I could do the tutorial. And I even had more yarn left over. So this whole entire box, if you make the bath poof, the soap bag, you have enough yarn to make 2 of the washcloths, or maybe even 3 of the washcloths. I just liked that there was enough yarn that I could do this tutorial and make something else that went with this bath set. So if you would enjoy making these type of items, this is what I call a learning experience. It's one of those monthly subscriptions that you get yarn that you may not have ever used before, or patterns that you may not have ever tried before. And to me, it's a learning experience because every month you're going to get different styles of yarn, and you're going to get different style of projects. And if you think this is something you may enjoy coming to your home, then I will put a link in the description box. You can go directly to Hooks and Needles and you can save 20% off your very first box by using the code CreativeGrandma20. And it's a great way to save money and get your first box and try it and see if you like it. Now, I'll also put a link to the PDF written pattern if you would like to get this pattern. I do have it available in my Etsy shop and on my website if you would like to get this pattern to follow along with the video, or you could just follow the free crochet tutorial. So thank you everybody for stopping by today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of the crochet fun here on Creative Grandma's channel. So until next time, stay inspired and happy crocheting. Bye, everyone.